So, Rod Jones, skipper, owner of Alegria Republic, you very generously gave us some footage of you guys powering through what looked like Volvo conditions, Southern Ocean Volvo conditions. Tell us a little bit about what was actually going on, what wind speed, what sails you had out, what things you were thinking about when that was happening.
It was early 30s in the wind strength and the sea state. They were steep seas, but they were well trained, so the boat was able to sort of mainly fit between them. You saw, not always. We were running a single reef and an A7 at the time, so pretty down in area, just trying to keep the boat straight. The boat's got a really big zone of capacity in those conditions, and we just kept pushing it. You see Lucas buried the boat, so Lucas Down was on the helm and he buried it a couple of times. We all had a go at doing that. 28.1 was our speed during that. Not our top speed through the race, but in that period. And it was comfortable, it was fast, it wasn't frightening, it felt really, really good.
Yeah. So. And you were saying that the beauty this time round there was that the sea conditions didn't have hollow waves on them, so when you were coming off them and so on, you weren't slamming?
Yeah, by and large, we just felt it suited this length. Like, we weren't overly concerned about getting to the bottom of the wave and then finding that we'd hit a wall. We were always able to steer back and around, or even if we did plan it like in that video, it didn't feel like it was the end of the world, like it didn't feel like we were just crushed.
Yeah. And it takes a bit of experience to drive, even in those conditions. Tell me a little bit about what sort of things as a driver you're really focusing on when it's pretty marginal.
Well, I think every helmsman has a slightly different approach to how they get through those conditions. Lucas and I are very similar. We basically see it as moguls, and we're trying to not hit the hard spots.
That's really interesting. So like ski moguls, really just trying to work your way around them.
Absolutely, and caressing, if you like, keeping our averages up. Evan Walker and Steve Taylor did a lot of driving, Alan Smith as well. Slightly different styles, maybe a little bit more dinghy or aggressive, but not substantially. None of us ever really put the boat in any situation of risk, and for me, having guys of that quality on meant that I could sit back a lot and just go, I'm really having a ball.
That's great. And I think one of the things, the extraordinary thing this year is hearing how many boats have at their top speed, and you can imagine the whooping, but as one very wise person said to me, the real difference is the averages, yes?
Yeah, well, I think, our average over the race was obviously sub 10 knots, but in those periods, we had periods where we were averaging, 24, 25 knots for long periods of time, which on a boat like this is quick. Top speeds, yeah. Our data shows we ticked over 30 for a few seconds. The biggest we saw on the dials was high 29s. It's only for a brief period of time, but it's exciting, and it's a target, and we all want to get it. Yeah.
Yes, I noticed too, talking to a lot of people, although it was pretty brutal, especially when they got the southerly, a lot of people were talking about how much fun that downhill stuff was this year.
Invigorating, yeah, definitely. The race started as it was almost like a delivery cruise, all working over shorts and T-shirts. And it got progressively more invigorating. But it never got frightening for us. It was just, and we had a philosophy of keep the boat, upright, don't break it. But we just found we could push the boat a lot harder than we anticipated. This is our first big offshore race in the boat, and we just found that we could just push it way more than we anticipated we could. So.
And you talked, interestingly, about different styles and dinghy sailors, and in a crew for something like the Hobart, it's presumably quite good to have kind of mixed sailing experience, is it?
Very much, and when I put the team together, we very much looked at width of capacity and cross capacity, so that we had a range of people who could cover not just single roles on the boat. Pretty well, we had 4 capable bowmen on the boat, even though we had a principal bowman in Dave. We had 5 principal helmsmen, 3 trimmers, some people who could pretty well fix anything on the boat. So, we looked at everyone's capacity, and I'm probably the weak link. I'm the old man at the back, but it was a case of a width of experience, and also I think the capacity for everyone just to jump in and do stuff and not push back. We just had a great fun and a great team.
And presumably your role in coaching and other things helps you with that sort of process, yeah?
I'd be very surprised. Yeah, well, yes and no, maybe not in this situation, because I think a lot of these guys are way better sailors than I am. You look at Al Smith and Ev on the boat and what they've done, and Steve and a few of those, Lucas Down. There's some seriously high quality people there, and even the guys that haven't got the track record in terms of results, have all still done a lot of sailing. Kai's done a leg of the Whitbread and things like that. So, yeah, my role's more, management. And I guess, again, given the quality of people we had, I was able to sit back and, manage rather than be crushed by having to drive too much early. And then when the conditions went gnarly at the end, I mean, I'm built for that. That's what I do. And you know, I was on there for like 5.5 hours in that. I was a bit broken, but you know, that's how we played it. That kept me alive for that end of it. Where you know, I guess that's my skill set. So
Yeah, and all about good planning all the way down the line, isn't it?
it was.
And the boat, you're obviously really happy with that. Back next year?
No, this is my last. I won't do another. This is a tick off for 2013 with our disastrous 2 minutes and 17 seconds. No, I won't do another. I've ticked it off. I think I'd spoil it because this was so much fun, and I really, really like Hobart. I don't want it to feel like I don't want to be here.
Well, and a fantastic reception, beautiful weather, so a really great way to finish, yeah?
It's a magic spot. And look, I just can't get over how well they do the village now and how well the organisation, both CYC and OICT, and DSS, of course, as well, everybody who's involved. It's amazing. It's so seamless.
Yeah.
You know, we sort of flooded our engine and had no power to get in the marina, so, you know, we towed in. The guys were great. It was no problems. You know, 4 a.m. It's like, you know, the beer turns up. Well, maybe that should have been coffee, but, you know. But no, it's great. I really loved it.
Well, fantastic note to end on your Hobarts, and doubtless you'll be watching plenty more.
I'll always watch, but there's a lot of other challenges in life, including the business empire. So we've got to get that going. So.
Great, thank you very much indeed, Rod.
Cheers. Take care. Thank you.